Matt, and today we're going to be looking at the effects parameters inside of S-Layer. We understand BPM mode, we know the global controls, we pretty much know all the controls in front of us. We've changed out effects. All we need now to do is to understand the rest of the parameters. So in the effects tab, we're given a couple parameters. The big new one here is, well, we're given a filter, and then we're given a granular engine. So the way the granular engine works is it looks at the grains of your sample, just basically little samples, and of like digital audio like samples, not like samples. And what it does is it takes those and it can manipulate the way it plays those back to you. We already looked at that in the context of the BPM mode, but you can do some really interesting things outside of it. So let's go ahead and load up some drum kit. Load up a snapshot. I went for 22 in the various folder, I believe. And what we're going to do is we're going to go to the main. We're going to solo the top layer, and we're going to go back to the effects. And we're going, it's a kick. And what we're going to do is we're going to go to grain. And we see that our engine's already working. We're allowed to select a grain size. So basically the window of grains it looks at. And we're allowed to tell it how fast to play those back. Now, if our size is quite large, let's go ahead and shrink it down. And you get some weird stuff. That's pretty much the extent I know about this thing. So I'm sorry I can't be more informative. But smaller grain sizes will pretty much sound like that with a high stretch rate. If we have them low, they won't sound like that at all. So very entertaining. You could sit here and play with this for hours. You can do that for all of your sample layers. So I soloed it just so we could see this in action easier. And of course, this is the on or off. So right now it's off. So even if I had a grain size, it wouldn't care. So, okay, cool. Let's move over to the cutoff and resonance. So this is a filter, just like any other filter. And you're able to go to a high pass, and you're able to go to a low pass. But for our low pass to be heard, you have to move the cutoff for each filter. And you also have a resonance control. So I don't know why I played during that, but resonance, and as we move our cutoff, there will be a boost in where the cutoff value is. I quite like it. That's the low pass, this is the high pass. Very cool. And if you don't get it yet, it's pretty easy thing. But let's go ahead and just load up EQ here. Okay, cool. So it's like this, right? There's your, let's just say, okay, here's your cutoff. Pretend this is a high pass or a low pass. And as we move it, that's all you're doing with the cutoff. And then you have a boost. The reason this would like follow your cutoff, this would be the resonance boost. The reason why this is done this way in a sort of unfriendly fashion is because you have this ability to randomize it and link it up to the sequencers and the rest of the workflow. The workflow is what we're going for. So that's pretty cool. I mean, it seems a little unintuitive if you're not familiar with these concepts already, but as part of the ensemble, very interesting way of generating filter movement. So if you have any questions, let me know. Subscribe and have a blessed day.